It was a quiet summer night in Maplewood Town when three friends heard a soft whistle echoing through the air. Curious, they followed the sound to the old railway tracks, and there, waiting in the moonlight, was a glowing silver train made of stardust. Lily, Noah, and Grace stopped in their tracks, their eyes wide with wonder. The train shimmered like liquid silver, its carriages glowing softly under the stars. Instead of smoke, sparkling dust floated from its chimney, drifting into the night sky. The windows glowed with warm golden light, and the whistle echoed like a lullaby across the quiet town. "Is that a real train?" Noah whispered. "It doesn't look real," Grace replied, her voice trembling with excitement. Lily stepped forward slowly. "It looks like it's waiting for us." The train doors slid open with a soft chime, inviting them in. For a moment, the children hesitated. No one else was around. The tracks had been abandoned for years, yet here stood a train that seemed alive. Their hearts pounded with curiosity. "Should we get on?" Noah asked nervously. Grace's eyes sparkled. "Of course we should. It's magical. We might never get another chance." Lily took a deep breath. "Okay, let's go together." Hand in hand, the three friends stepped inside the glowing train. The interior took their breath away. The seats shimmered like velvet woven from moonlight, and the floor sparkled with tiny stars as if they were walking across the galaxy. The windows didn't show trees or fields. They revealed glowing galaxies, swirling comets, and entire constellations as if the train were flying through space itself. "This is unbelievable," Noah whispered, pressing his face against the window. Grace laughed with joy. "We're riding through the stars." Lily touched one of the glowing rails. "It feels warm, like it's alive." Suddenly, a soft voice spoke. "Welcome, travelers." They turned to see the conductor. But this was no ordinary conductor. He was tall and glowing, his entire body made of starlight. His hat shimmered like the moon, and his eyes twinkled like constellations. He smiled warmly. "I am Orion, the star conductor. You have boarded the midnight train to Starland, a place where every star in the sky holds a story." The children gasped. "Starland?" Grace asked, eyes wide. "Yes," Orion said, bowing slightly. "A realm of wonders, where the stars themselves come alive. But only those who believe in magic and friendship can ride this train. Tonight, you have been chosen." Noah's jaw dropped. "Chosen? For what?" Orion's eyes sparkled. "For an adventure among the stars. But be warned, Starland is full of mysteries. At each stop, you will face a challenge. Only with courage, kindness, and teamwork will you succeed." The children looked at each other, their nervousness turning into excitement. This was no ordinary journey, it was the adventure of a lifetime. The train gave a soft chime as it slowed down. Outside the window, they saw their first destination, a floating station shaped like a giant crystal. Its surface glowed in rainbow colors, and staircases of light led to platforms in the sky. Orion gestured toward the doors. "This is the crystal station," he said. "Here you must help a lonely constellation find its missing piece." The train doors opened, and the children stepped out onto the glowing crystal platform. The moment they touched the ground, the air hummed like music. The crystal walls sparkled around them, reflecting their faces like mirrors of light. In the middle of the station stood a glowing figure shaped like a constellation, a group of stars connected by lines of light. It looked like a giant fox, but one of its stars was missing, leaving its body incomplete. The fox constellation lowered its head sadly. "I cannot shine without my missing star," the fox said softly. "Without it, I will fade from the sky forever." The children's hearts ached. They didn't want the fox to disappear. "We'll help you," Lily said gently. "Where can we find your missing star?" The fox pointed toward a cave made of glowing crystal. "It was stolen by the shadow of doubt. To restore me, you must bring it back." The three friends bravely entered the cave. Inside, the walls shimmered with reflections of themselves, but each reflection whispered doubts. "You're too small. You're too weak. You'll never succeed." The voices echoed, making Noah hesitate. "What if they're right?" he whispered. Grace grabbed his hand firmly. "They're not right. We're stronger together." Lily raised her chin. "We have to ignore the shadows. We know who we are." The children pushed forward, following a trail of glowing dust. At the end of the cave, they found the missing star, trapped inside a glass orb held by a tall, smoky shadow with glowing red eyes. The shadow of doubt growled. You think you're brave. You are nothing. Leave the star, or be lost forever. The children stood firm. Lily stepped forward. We won't leave. The fox needs this star. And no matter what you say, we believe in ourselves. Grace added, we believe in friendship. Noah, though shaking, said firmly, and we believe in courage. The orb glowed brighter with every word. The shadow hissed, growing weaker. No, your light, it's too strong. With a loud screech, the shadow dissolved into smoke, leaving the orb behind. The children carefully lifted the orb, and the missing star floated out, glowing brighter than ever. Together, they carried it back to the Fox constellation. When they placed the star back into its rightful spot, the fox lit up fully, shining like a diamond in the sky. It leapt gracefully into the air and joined the night sky, its body glowing proudly. Thank you, children, the fox's voice echoed warmly. You have restored me. Never forget. The light inside you is stronger than any shadow. The children smiled, their hearts filled with pride. They had passed their first challenge. The crystal platform glowed brighter, and the midnight train returned, its silver doors sliding open. Orion stood waiting, his eyes twinkling. Well done, travelers, he said. You faced doubt and proved your courage. The train will now take you to the next star station, where even greater adventures await. The children stepped back onto the train, their excitement stronger than ever. As the doors closed, they looked out the windows, watching the Fox constellation sparkle in the sky above. Do you think every stop will be like this? Noah asked, his voice full of wonder. Maybe, Grace replied, but I think each one will teach us something new. Lily smiled. As long as we stay together, we can handle anything. The train's whistle echoed softly as it zoomed forward, leaving a trail of stardust behind. The midnight train to Starland carried them deeper into the galaxy, toward their next challenge, their next lesson, and their next adventure. The midnight train glided smoothly through the galaxy, its carriages glowing like silver lanterns in the endless night. Lily, Noah, and Grace sat by the window, still amazed by what had just happened. They had restored the Fox constellation and proved to themselves that courage and friendship could defeat even the darkest doubts. But their adventure was far from over. Orion, the star conductor, stepped into the carriage, his twinkling eyes filled with pride. You have done well, travelers, he said warmly. But Starland is vast, and many stars are in need of your help. Your next challenge awaits at the Sea of Fallen Stars. The Sea of Fallen Stars. Grace repeated. Yes, Orion replied. It is where the stars that lose their way drift and fall. Tonight, a little star has fallen there, and it cannot find its way back to the sky. You must help it, or it will fade forever. The children exchanged determined glances. They knew they couldn't let a star disappear. The train slowed, and the windows filled with a breathtaking sight. Below them stretched an ocean unlike any they had ever seen. Instead of water, it shimmered with liquid starlight. Waves sparkled with glowing dust, and comets floated across its surface like ships. Islands of crystal drifted slowly, glowing softly in the darkness. This is beautiful, Noah whispered. It's like a dream, Lily added. The train stopped at a glowing dock made of moonstone. The children stepped out, their feet crunching on stardust. A gentle cry echoed across the shore. They turned and saw a small glowing star, no bigger than a soccer ball, sitting sadly on the sand. Its light flickered weakly as it whispered, I don't belong anywhere. I fell from the sky, and now I am lost. Grace knelt beside the star. Don't worry, we'll help you find your way home. The star blinked up at them. Really, you'd help me? Of course, Lily said with a smile. No one should be left behind. The star glowed a little brighter, comforted by their words. But Orion's voice warned from behind them, be careful. The Sea of Fallen Stars is guarded by the tide of fear. If you lose your courage, the tide will pull you under. The children nodded bravely, holding the little star in their hands as they stepped onto a crystal boat waiting at the shore. The boat moved on its own, gliding gently across the glowing waves. At first, everything seemed peaceful. Shooting stars zipped overhead, and the waves shimmered with silver light. But soon, the sea began to grow darker. Shadows stretched across the water, and the once gentle waves rose higher and stronger. Suddenly, the boat rocked violently. A huge wave shaped like a dark monster rose before them, its voice booming like thunder. You cannot save the star, the tide of fear roared. You are too small, too weak. Turn back, or be swallowed by the sea. Noah clutched the sides of the boat, his heart racing. What if we can't do it? The little star whimpered, its light dimming. But Lily shook her head firmly. We can. We've faced shadows before. Fear can't stop us. Grace stood tall, her voice steady. Fear is only strong if we listen to it. We have to believe in ourselves. The wave roared louder, crashing against the boat. But the children joined hands around the little star, holding it close. We won't give up, they shouted together. The star suddenly glowed brighter, its light pushing back the darkness. The wave hissed and crumbled, breaking apart into harmless stardust that rained gently onto the sea. The waters calmed, shimmering peacefully once again. The little star twinkled with joy. You protected me. Thank you. The boat carried them to the center of the sea, where a tall tower of crystal rose from the water. On its top shone a glowing gateway made of pure starlight. Orion's voice echoed gently from above. Place the star into the gateway, and it will return to the sky where it belongs. The children climbed the crystal stairs, step by step, until they reached the top. The little star hovered in front of them, glowing brighter than ever. I was so afraid, it whispered. But you showed me that I don't need to be. Thank you for believing in me. The children smiled warmly. Together, they lifted the star and placed it into the gateway. With a burst of brilliant light, the star shot upward, soaring into the night sky. It joined the other stars, glowing proudly in its rightful place. The children gasped in awe. Above them, the sky shimmered with countless stars, but the little one they had saved shone the brightest of them all. You did it, Orion said, appearing beside them. You reminded the star of its light, and in doing so, you reminded yourselves of your own strength. The children beamed with pride. Their hearts felt lighter, filled with the joy of helping another. The midnight train whistled softly, calling them back. As they boarded, they looked one last time at the sky. The little star twinkled brightly, as if waving goodbye. Back inside the train, the friends sat quietly, each lost in thought. Finally, Noah spoke. You know, I think we learned something important tonight. Grace nodded. That fear only has power if we let it. Lily added, smiling, and that even the smallest light can shine brightly when it has friends to believe in it. Orion placed a hand over his heart, his starlight glowing warmly. Exactly. Every star, no matter how small, has its place in the sky. And every child, no matter how young, has the power to make the world brighter. The train whistled again and soared forward, leaving behind trails of stardust. Lily, Noah, and Grace pressed their faces to the windows, watching the sky sparkle above. They knew more adventures awaited, but tonight they carried with them a lesson they would never forget. Glowing star moral lesson. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to rise above it. When we believe in ourselves and help others shine, the world becomes a brighter, kinder place.